Good morning. How are y'all doing? This is Raw Autism Perspective. I am Ed. This is
Sam.
Brittany. And we are coming to you today in this new episode speaking about parental denial.
Denied.
You women are parents. Have you ever been parental denial of your child?
Say you women are parents? Aren't you a parent?
But I say
Aren't your
women.
kids our age? But sorry. No, because you really were saying everything that my mind was like, you women. Aren't you a father? But I'm saying a father?
Asking you women questions because y'all the women on the show.
You women. I'm asking for ladies, parents, ladies, you women.
Y'all,
Sorry, we have to set the
y'all-
tone real quick.
y'all have parental denial ever?
No.
Have you ever
No, my
had it?
kids are gonna get away with whatever the hell they want to get away with, and I gotta be there to straighten them up.
So you've never had a parental denial of anything?
Say I never have, but but I'm not in denial when it comes to my children needing help.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh, that's good. I like how you did that. I see you. You talk a little salty. No, but that's the truth, though. I'm not denial my children need help. If they need help, I'm going to advocate for them and get them the help they need. The only thing I might be in denial sometimes when they talk back, I know she didn't just talk back to me. I might be in denial about that because I'm going to do something that I told myself I would never do. And that would be like, don't be my mama. Even though my mama did some things that I needed, try not to be that way. So I know she did not just talk back to me. That's when I get in denial. So, yes. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And you, Miss Waters?
Yeah, I've been in denial. Lena's diagnosis. I was in denial. I was in denial about Jalan's ADHD and ADD. I was trying to definitely navigate with him, trying to figure out what are we going to do, because he was bouncing all over the walls and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie, it was pissing me off because I took it as like, you're just not listening. You're hyper. You just... And now that maybe our kids aren't in the kitchen right now and this will be in the garage. Right. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah. And that was my son. I'm just letting you guys know that was my son. So getting back to that, because it was pissing me off because I took it as like a young mom, like, was in my 20s. And I was like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Why is he not listening? Why am I getting complaints at school every day? Yeah. I'm thinking, okay, you guys just don't want to deal with my kid. You guys just act like he's just like this horrible kid to where it's just like, it didn't matter what Jalan did. I got a call every day. It was not a day that went by that I didn't get one. And he had it be about 6. And then 7, 8, 9, it went up. But at this point, it was the teacher telling me, hey, I want to bring something to your attention. I think your son has ADHD. Mm-hmm. And I sat here and I looked at that teacher and I was like, so are you trying to say he's slow? Mind you, I'm a young mom, and at the time, I'm like, this is my approach. I'm like, so you're saying my son is slow. She looked at me with her head like, did I say that? Like, no, man, she cocked her head at me. We doing this, like, and she's like, I didn't say anything like that. I said, so what the heck are you talking about this? She's like, okay, let me say this in a way you can get it. You need to go get your son checked out. Your son is bouncing like this, and I didn't give him no sugar today. We made sure we tested this out to see if it was, that was something they didn't tell me. They tested it out to see if it was something that had to deal with the breakfast, as far as they know he's allergic to peaches. So they're like, okay, if we give him fruit cups, but then we may give him like the fruit snack packets and stuff like that. And then we'll let him have a chocolate milk. And then so, and I was like, okay, so what happened? They said we didn't give him the chocolate milk. We didn't give him the fruit packets. Instead, we gave him the banana. He didn't want that. He had the cereal. We made sure that it was Cheerios. He ate it. He was a little bit better, but he was still like,
It make much of a difference.
yeah. So she was just like, oh, it has nothing to do with this. So she was like, I didn't want to bring it to your attention like, oh, I'm trying to run tests on your kids. It's just as a teacher, I want to see what's triggering him. And it has nothing to do with the food. It has everything to do with him having ADHD and how he didn't really pay attention in class. It was very, he would get off task very quick and things like that. So when she brought it to my attention, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I was really on some. So you basically saying my kid is slow. I was that mother, and I'm so happy I'm not that mom again. And I do this all the time. So don't ever think I'm just like this person who's like, oh no, I accept what you're saying. And no, I was like,
I think even we've had conversations where you've told me like, Bray, why the fuck's he doing that shit? I was like, Samantha, I got to tell you, I do that shit. That's the shit I do. So like, I promise your son is not purposely trying to make you crazy because I'm a grown woman and I do that shit. So.
Yeah, I've got so many gray hairs in my head that I'm like, bro. But now that Lena has autism, that was the one that I was not in denial. I was what you were on, which was, how do I help her with what she just told me?
Yeah.
On top of dealing with that and dealing with my emotions, now I have to deal with her father's emotions because her father, which I did not get on his head because he did the same thing I did to my son or about my son, which was, so you're calling my kid slow. It was like that. And I had to look like I was looking in the mirror like, but I understood where he was coming from because he didn't know. And what you don't know, you don't understand.
Yeah.
So, okay, start again. So at the end of the day, it took him for about, her dad, it took him about a year, maybe a year and a half to accept it, but he was still being ignorant. And if he's watching this, it's not like that. We had our talk. He was being ignorant to where it was, now that you understood, no, now that you heard it, now that you accepted it, you need to understand it, because what you're not getting, you're saying fix. Now you're saying they need to fix my kid. So that still let me know that you were in denial, right? Because you're saying fix as if these doctors can just give her a shot.
Yeah.
And that's not how this works. And I'm going to be honest, there are those moments as parents when we're in denial that we wish it was like a quick fix of, if it only took like maybe this patch, or if it was, maybe they need, what is that? The vaccine, or, different things like that. A quick fix.
Don't do their medals.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Different stuff like that. I sit here and I'm like, back then, I was so like, yeah, I want a quick fix. Yeah. If therapy can help her, go ahead. I literally was that parent that was accepting, but literally said, okay, well, she does therapy, then she'll be talking about by next year. Oh, if she had ABA and OT, oh, this will be fixed by, maybe by the time she turns 7. My daughter is still not potty trained. So at the end of the day, it's just, it took some time. So you have to really just bear with people, but that's not saying that you can't help them try to understand what they don't know. So that's my take.
And I've been in denial too. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not ever in denial. So I think all parents have a little bit of denial.
Yeah.
Mine came more when it came to my daughter's mental health. I was in denial, like her life is great. Like she didn't go through nothing that I went through. Why would her mental health be even a topic? Like, how was that even a thing? Until like she made sure that I understood and I had to start acting right because my daughter's mental health is important. I think that's too where I can be in denial. So mine might not be in denial of the ADHD because I had it. I grew up having it. I grew up being the menace. My mom was in denial. She's like, no, she's hyper kid. She's fine. So that part I wasn't in denial with. But it can be other things. Like her not being happy. I'm like, well, why? Why was you not being happy? Your life's so much easier than mine. Girl, like what? But that's where I was in denial. Yeah.
What about you?
I actually have not had the chance to have parental denial.
Yeah.
I had denial wanting to be a parent because of
Let me turn around for this. What?
because I have numerous health issues. I didn't want my kids to have. You feel me? I have 23 specialists. And I've been in and out the hospital for 42 years. So I had a major surgery where I had a cyst in my scrotum. They found 7 cysts that were brown when they finally did the surgery and told me I would never have kids. So to have kids today, you know, I was in denial for a long time. Like, I can't have no kids anyway. And then when I finally had a child, that was mine.
That belongs to me? Oh, okay.
You know, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Because I was told I would never have kids. You feel me? And then just that whole denial of my health. Please, Lord, don't let my kids have my health. You know what I'm saying? So I love kids. I mean, I wanted to have kids growing up. But when, you know, I had a situation, that's what they told me. So, shoot, I was in denial for a long time. I'm like, I ain't handle that kid. My pullout game was awesome, but
Oh, God.
just keep it 100 with you. Like, that was something I did not want to do. Because I did not want my kids having none of my health issues. Think about it, I've been in the hospital since I was 5. You feel what I'm saying? Like, people talk about things that go on, like y'all being mothers. I don't know. I ask my mom all the time, like, were you in denial of the things I was going through as a kid? Because my mom worked 7 to 7. You feel what I'm saying? We got a close-knit family where me and my cousins, then we all grew up together, lived in the same house. So when I started having seizures, when I was 8.
Oh, wow.
And I had every seizure you can think about, grandma, grandpa. They have a seizure called Todd's paralysis, where you be paralyzed, but you having a seizure. You don't shake, you don't do none of that. But that's most dangerous, one of the most dangerous ones, because you don't know that the person is having a seizure.
I have a friend that has seizures like that.
And
No, all right.
And, you know, so my mom and my auntie, they made sure, my cousin and my brother made sure that I was taken care of as we walked to school every day. Make sure he get to school, make sure he get to his class, make sure y'all all get home together. We was community, a family community, but then the whole neighborhood was like that. You feel what I'm saying? So
to ask you a quick question. So when you said like, you asked was that something that you literally asked your mom, like, were you in denial, or were you questioning it because you were going through all these things and she attacked it later? Or how was it? Like,
no, it was more so like, because as a parent, you know, and my sons don't go through nothing. Like, they're great. You know what I'm saying? My daughter don't go through nothing. Like, so I am blessed that my kids don't have none of my medical issues. But for my mom, me being in the hospital since the age of 5, and still today, you feel me? Throat cancer survivor, another cancer that's no cure for, that's called polycythemia vera. It's a blood cancer that I get drained every 2 to 3 months for.
Dialysis?
No, it's not dialysis. They take 2 pints of blood from me.
yeah, it's like he's. I make a joke about it. I be like, I check on him and I'm like, hey, do you have to get drained this month? And he's just like, oh, now that I think about it, it has been like 4 months. No wonder I've been feeling like this. And I'm like, you have to go get drained. Like he fills up with so much, so it's like you need to go
and see
get drained.
I can clot anywhere blood runs in the body. So from the brain to the feet, I can clot. You feel what I'm saying?
So do you remember if your mom? So I think what I'm getting to is like, do you think your mom ever got to a point when she first found out that she was just like, no, y'all wrong. Like this is not, and that is.
And and that's why, you know what? As a nurse, I don't think so.
Oh, she's a nurse.
She was an RN.
No, that.
She was an RN she was an ER RN at 37 years. So she's seeing everything. You feel what I'm saying? So as a nurse, I feel like she wanted to make sure she was working to make sure we had perfect medical care.
But yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? My whole 8-year-old life, I was at Kaiser Hollywood. I had a spinal tap where they had to stay in my spine for 16 hours where I couldn't move. If I moved, I would have been paralyzed. So for 16 hours as an 8-year-old
do that, even more wild.
You feel? I've had over 21 spinal taps. You feel what I'm saying? Because they were trying to find out why I was having seizures. So to remember, as me and my mom had the conversation, when I had seizures, that's when she was a denial. She did not believe her son could have seizures. That was the parental denial. Because when she first found out, she was in disbelief. Like, out of all my kids, like, why him? And I still got to work. So how I'm going to take care of this and still got to work? So I feel like when I'm thinking about it now, yes, she was in parental denial when I started having seizures.
That's crazy.
Because when she found out, I was at school. When I had my first seizure, I had this bad headache. It was just killing me. And I told the teacher, like, I need to lay down. She was like, well, recess is coming soon. You can go to the nurse. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm telling you, it's certain stuff that I remember like it was yesterday, and it's certain stuff that I don't remember at all. But trauma, for some odd reason, I remember trauma. You feel me? And this particular day, I laid my head on the desk. I woke up in the nurse office, and my granny was sitting there. And they was trying to put this little plastic piece in my mouth. Because they said I was biting down. I kept biting down on my tongue. So I wake up, they still trying to stuff in my mouth. Waking me up, so I like having this.
And I'm like, you're not having one right now. I ain't gonna say, Jesus, get us out of here.
I didn't know nobody. And my granny, she wasn't familiar with seizures and nothing. Yeah. So instead of taking me to the hospital, she took me home.
Shit.
So I'm at my granny house and they trying to call my mama to locate my mama.
And they weren't even timing it then either.
No. So I didn't. So what they told my mom, and that missed the time from they taking me from the school to my granny house, I had 7 seizures. Fuck. Got to my granny house. They said I had a seizure at my granny house where I almost kicked my cousin chin off. Because she was a baby and she came and she touched my knee. And when you're having a seizure, your nerves, everything, it's a quick reaction.
Yeah.
So when she touched my knee, my leg kicked up and kicked her head.
My daughters both had seizures when they were little too, but they had febrile seizures, which is just seizures caused by fever.
Yeah.
And then when you're sick, so you eventually grow out of it though.
Maybe.
Because that's what I had too as a kid. I had febrile seizures, spent a lot of time in the hospital. They took my tonsils out, no more seizures.
Yeah, I had them from 1987 to 1993. In 1993, I was playing baseball, and that's why I had the scar up here. We was running to catch the ball, and my boy was running with his mouth open. And that's his tooth, whether you cracked me skull.
Damn.
I was kind of redirected.
The crazy thing, look, I didn't have no more seizures after that.
Yeah.
Now I have narcolepsy complex.
Now I got something else, got it. After all that.
So I can say, parental denial. That is when my mom first found out.
Yeah.
But me myself, no, I haven't.
And I didn't have denial when my girls were having seizures, but I think what helped is that I worked in a daycare before I had children. And I had to get licensed. You got to be licensed to work in a daycare.
Yeah.
So when she had a seizure, I knew immediately what was happening to her. I took out my phone and I started timing it because they said if it's like more, and don't quote me on this because it's been like 12, 13 years, but they told me something like, as long as it's under a 10-minute seizure, they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to record it. If it goes past the 10 minutes, then you need to be worried and you need to call or take her to the hospital or something. I remember with Aaliyah, I only sent her to the hospital one time because she was little. We were in Walmart and all of a sudden she just fell forward and, she was caught and we were in Walmart, started foaming at her mouth. That scared the shit out of me. One of the Walmart workers grabbed a pillow, put it on the floor, laid her on the pillow, and we were like, fuck. It's 13 minutes. We gotta call the hospital. We gotta call the ambulance because that scared the shit out of me. Yeah, the fucking seizures are scary. Her eyes rolled back. She's like doing all. I'm like, oh my Lord Jesus.
I just think like when it comes to things like this, especially health, we can sit here and joke all day when it comes to like certain things because now that it's passed on, we could laugh about it or we could, just try to move past it. But it's like one thing to joke, but then it's another to like really act on it. So I feel like for everybody who is in denial or anybody who feels like this could not be you, this is not what your life was meant to be, this is not what God intended it to be, things like that, take it out.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with life. Your life was already planned ahead of time. So whatever is going to happen, if that's what you believe. So I'm just saying, like, you can't sit here. You can, but realistically, you can't sit here forever and hound your child about why your child is acting a certain way when someone already told you about 4 times what is going on. And if one person told you something and then a week or a month later, somebody else said the same thing that person said, don't feel like it's an attack because sometimes it will feel like that.
Yeah.
Don't feel like somebody's attacking you, that they're attacking your child, that they're attacking your parenthood, all that. Take all that out because now you're thinking selfishly. And I'm telling you from someone who did that, take all that out and really sit back and just think to yourself, I heard this more than once, or this is my first time hearing this. What am I going to do about it now? Am I going to sit here and wait for somebody else to tell me, or am I going to go to the doctor? Because the longer you wait, I'm not going to lie to y'all, the longer you wait with anything when it comes to health, disabilities, whatever the case may be, the more that this goes untreated. And untreated, you don't have to be on medication, but therapy, that's also treatment. So the longer you go without the necessary, treatments that you need, that your child needs, you're going to sit here and you're going to be stressed out. You're going to be frustrated and you're going to sit here and be like, dang, like now it's worse than ever. And I have to take off of work more. I don't have this type of help no more because you chose to sit there and be in denial. And I'm serious. You chose to not take accountability and sit here and be like, you know what? I need to get up off my butt. I need to go make an appointment. Stop being lazy. Stop being selfish. If you're doing that, I'm telling you, just stop.
Ignoring it will not make it go away.
No.
It's not. You may think, oh, it calmed down today, so it must not be what they said. Today is going to be different from tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be different from the next. And you're going to see all the different levels. And once you get to that point, now you're going to be like, oh, dang, I should have been did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
And I'm gonna paint it in a different light too. Like, there's nothing wrong with helping your child. So a lot of people, they're in denial because they're afraid of judgment. They're afraid what other people are gonna think. There's nothing wrong with helping your children or helping yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. So if your daughter has autism or ADHD, or they have a medical problem, or they have a disability, handle it. It is what it is. There's no shame in it. Just take care of it. Get it done. It's going to help your kid in the long run when you take care of it right away. And just, I don't know. I feel like that's where people get stuck up, is they're like, oh, people are going to look at me different. Like, I had a friend that I love very much where I suspected her child had autism. Very strongly suspected that. I still suspect it, but she does not want to address that. She's like, oh, they're fine. But it's taken him so long to speak, and the episodes that I used to witness, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I just feel like it would be so much easier if you just said, you know what, let me, even though maybe he didn't have autism, maybe he just was developmentally delayed. But I think as a parent, you should still go and go and check it out. Maybe it isn't autism. Maybe it's something else that's going on that if you get the right help, we can like address it and help your child.
Right.
Versus like, oh, it's fine. They'll get over it. They'll grow out of it. A lot of people, I feel like they do that too. They'll grow out of it. They're fine.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you're also kind of making your kid feel small now, because they're literally suffering, and you can like make it better with something, some type of adjustment, and they don't have to suffer as much.
Right.
Like, I don't know. That's life.
No, you're right. And the last thing for this, just calling it is what it is. When you find out your child has a disability, we don't talk about this enough, but we're just gonna say it and nip it in the bud now, because I know it's gonna come up, and I just want to say it so it could just be out the way. If you find out your kid has a disability and you choose not to want to take responsibility and go get the help that your child needs, I feel like you need to take a step back and you need to allow someone else to help you. Because
nicer than what I was gonna say.
Because on some real stuff, we don't talk about it enough. What we do, but people choose not to listen to it until they're ready. Mental health is real.
Exactly.
So if you feel like this is too much for you to handle, because you're overstimulated, and don't think you have to have autism or ADHD to get overstimulated. There's a lot of people who don't have ADHD and who don't have autism, and they get overstimulated. And you feel like you can't do this anymore. You feel like this child is not for me. I'm going to just say it like that. This child is not for me. This is not what I pictured my life to be. I've seen people do it just on social media. Do not abandon your kid on the street. Do not sit here and be like, oh, they a little, it's fine, whatever the case may be. Because one, you're going to jail, and I'm recording. I'm recording you. Two, that child deserves a chance. There is about to get a little, there are people out there who cannot have kids and who would love a child unconditionally through disability and whatever. So let those people have a chance to raise your kid if you feel like this is too much for you. I'm not saying you're wrong if you give your child a. I would honestly commend you for allowing someone else to raise your kid versus doing what these other people are doing, which is abandoning their kid in the street, alleys, whatever. Like, these people are literally leaving their kids out like people did back in the day when they wanted to get rid of their dogs. They would take them out so far in the field somewhere, drop them off, and then drive as if the dog does not remember the way to the house or whatever the case may be, or they will go further out for the dog not to be able to come back. The thing is you're treating that child like like they're nothing. And I'm going to be honest, you could do that to a child and the child just may have a disability, but that child may be a millionaire. No, I'm serious. Or the next NFL star or the next, NBA star. You don't know who you have. And all you had to do was just take the time out. Not saying you're using your kid for the finer things in life. What I'm saying is you don't know who God blessed you with. Yeah, I'm about to get off because people about to be like,
It's okay.
people about to be like,
What we're trying to say is,
don't abandon your kid.
yes,
Don't abandon your kid. Someone will love your kid. And if you feel like you need help, go to your village. If you don't have a village, we will help you.
there's
With those resources.
Yes, no, you can help get the resources. But I also feel like what we should also add in, and not everybody has a choice in this matter. So this is not to people who did not have a choice. But for those of you who have a choice, you chose to have a child. So when you choose to have a child, except the ones that did not choose, I know there's going to be always those cases. When you choose to have children, you are choosing to have a child, no matter what's going to go on with that child, whether they're having a disability, whether they have mental health, whether they end up getting hurt, whether they anything can happen that hurts that kid. Don't sit here and think, oh, well, it can't happen to me. Well, guess what? I never thought that my daughter would be 7. I couldn't even imagine that, but it happened. And so now it's my job to help her. So now she's in therapy, right? Because that's what we need to do for our kids. Doesn't mean I want to do it. Doesn't mean I want to go every single day after work or twice a day, every day. So we're spending what, 10 hours a day driving her back and forth therapy, just me, and then my spouse is spending another 10 hours. So that's 20 hours a week that we're driving currently to take her back and forth to therapy.
It's the sacrifice.
8 hours a week I'm driving. But that's what we have to do because she's my baby and I want her here and I love her and I care about her and it breaks my heart that she's sad. And so now it's my job to help fix that. And how do I fix that? I don't fix that by being in denial, sweeping it under the rug and ignoring the problem. No, we address the problem. And it is hard. And that's why I got Sam to call. I'd ugly cry to her on the phone if I need to. I do.
Oh my God.
It's true, I do. But if you don't have a community like that, that's what she's saying too, is message us, right? Reach out to us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to be here for you at 2:00 in the morning. If I don't know you, I'm sorry, because I'm trying to sleep because I'm exhausted. But we can also help you get resources.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to talk to somebody, send us a message. We will talk to you. We'll give you some advice and we'll point you in the right direction.
DM us, even if on some real stuff, because we're just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you need to cry or send an audio message because it gets it out very quickly instead of you typing and you're trying to send us the audio message and literally just cry, just get it out. I can't do this anymore. This is what's going on with me. I had a hard day, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you, I would message you back because at the end of the day, everybody needs an outlet. And with that being said, this is Raw Autism Perspective Podcast. This is Brittany.
I'm ready.
I'm Samantha.
And I am Ed.
And we'll see you guys next time. Comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.